We had followed the Danube cycle path all the way to Vienna, and with a plane to catch in Zurich in a few days, we decided to book a train back to Switzerland a bit early and enjoy our last vacation days riding there. It was easily one of the most beautiful train rides one could imagine, but a great day on the train doesn't compare to an average day of cycling. We were ready for a bit more adventure. We awoke in Zurich the next morning, stopped into a bike shop to make a few adjustments, and we were on our way, weaving through this vibrant city, energized by the urban pace, heading north towards the Bodensee and towards the beautiful, sweet countryside of Switzerland. The days of rest we enjoyed in Vienna and the day on the train left us aching to get back on the bikes. A perfect blue sky overhead and the quiet paths that carried us through a broad rural landscape was just what the doctor ordered. The birdsong, the cowbells ringing through the valleys, the chiming of the church bells in the villages was like a balm for our souls. We're riding through the canton of Zurich, the most populated region of Switzerland, but unless you're counting cows, that seems hard to believe. Once we left the city behind, we were surrounded by the most green and pristine landscapes, tidy villages, and beautiful trails one could imagine. If there's anything better than riding through rolling farmlands, it's doing so during harvest season. The bounty of the land was everywhere on display. At length we made our way to Winterthur, a larger town in the center of the canton, which displayed the two sides of Switzerland, the one very modern and contemporary, the other playing to the nostalgia of a bygone era. It's amazing what it does for a town to open it up for pedestrians and cyclists, and deciding that it doesn't require cars or parking spaces or exhaust fumes to make a place truly livable. Gut gemacht, Schweiz. The morning dawned once again with a cloudless blue sky. We continued on our short journey to the Bodensee, an inland freshwater sea fed by the alpine waters of the Rhine River. When we reached it, we stopped for a bit of lunch and to enjoy the company of these beautiful birds. The lake borders Switzerland to the south, Austria to the east, and Germany to the north, also known as Lake Constance and the Obersee in Germany. It's the third largest lake in Central Europe, spanning 63 kilometers long and 14 kilometers at its greatest width. And a part of the world with a lot of prehistory, the Bodensee comes up empty. When places like Lake Zurich were being settled by Paleolithic peoples, this area was still covered by the Rhine glacier. Although our plan was to do a circle around the Bodensee, weather reports indicated we were looking at a few days of steady rain. We decided that tomorrow we would head inland and make a loop with assist from the local train service back to Zurich and Zug in the dry comfort of Nadia and Victor's home. For now, we followed the shoreline past orchards and tourist towns and parks, with the lake always gracing our view until we reached our hotel in the tourist town of Goldach. In the morning, we followed the Rhine River toward the Alps, crossing back and forth between Austria and Switzerland, and entering a new country for both of us, Liechtenstein, a monarchy led by a prince and Europe's fourth smallest country, less than half the size of our hometown of Denver. As we traveled south, the Swiss Alps loomed larger and larger above the broad valley of the Rhine River.
Look at those mountains all the way out into Austria.
Today was probably our longest day of riding as far as miles go, as the weeks of riding the Danube had definitely brought us both to a level of strength well beyond what we had early in the trip. It felt like we were just getting started.
Whoop, hold on. Julianna, hold on. It's our turn.
But in a few short days, we had a plane to catch. Julianna had to get back to her job, and despite the beautiful sunshine and stunning views, the mood was just a bit somber. Could this be the end of our European biking trip? We reached Sargans just in time to catch the train to Zurich, where we transferred to another train to Zug and a bus to Walsville, and Nadia's and Victor's home. We'd been hoping for a couple more days of riding, but the weather reports assured us it would be a rainy slog in all directions. Well, all directions but one. It turns out the European train system would come to our aid once again. We had one more chapter before we head home.